in the last decade. Joey doesn't talk about that either. Joey went right back into the Paris Climate Accords, and we pay the bulk of that money, while China and India, they're classified as developing nations, and they pay a fraction, a tiny, like pennies on the dollar of what we're paying. How stupid does this make this country? Now, the people that have been suffering the most are the people in the great state of Alaska. You got Biden flip-flopping on fossil fuels and all over the place, and he has allowed the new Green Deal socialists, has nothing to do really with energy, has everything to do with redistribution, to take control of his agenda. And Lisa Murkowski, the senator from Alaska, has been nothing but a huge, massive rhino disappointment to everybody. And as a result of her extraordinarily useless work in the U.S. Senate, she now has a primary challenge, and that challenger's name is Kelly Chewbacca. And she's challenging Lisa Murkowski on these issues and more, and she joins us now. Kelly, how are you? Glad you could be with us.
It's an honor to be with you. Sean, my entire family has been Hannitized, and we invite you to Alaska. You would have a huge reception with very, very happy
I need to do a Hannity stop in Alaska. What part of Alaska are you from?
We're in Anchorage. Half the state lives here. We would get the largest stadium for you, and it would be packed out.
I'm telling you, Linda, we got to go to Alaska.
Dude, I'm in.
I love your... Kelly, you got to talk to Linda. Ask her. I am obsessed with every Alaska show. Light Below Zero. I mean, I cannot believe, I'm sitting there mesmerized at how people, their self-sufficiency, their resourcefulness. I love the guys on Deadliest Catch, and I actually want to buy a fishing vessel and retire, but I don't know. I'll probably get seasick as hell, but what the heck? I love your state. It's beautiful. It's majestic. It's incredible. And actually, it's one of the few states, because of resources, you don't pay state income taxes. You get a check from the state government, right?
That's right. We actually have a dividend that comes to us from the oil revenue that's made. That's one of the great things about Alaska. We have so much resource in the state. Most people don't know we're over twice the size of Texas, which is exactly why so many Alaskans are so mad at Lisa Murkowski and Joe Biden. We have so much opportunity available here, and we are just locked off from it because of the decisions that this radical administration is making. We're living without when we should be living in plenty.
If we had achieved for the first time in 75 years energy independence under Donald Trump's policies. He had opened ANWR, which had been closed, I think, since Jimmy Carter. And all of those jobs now, with the stroke of a pen, are gone. High-paying career jobs in the energy sector. How will this impact people that work in the energy sector in your state?
You absolutely called it. So Donald Trump opened up access to ANWR for us. This is the concept of this is we've been fighting for access to this for 6 decades for us. So opening ANWR is like, if you think of a picture of a football field, the exploration, discovery, development of resources would be like the equivalent of a postage stamp on a football field. That's what we're talking about. Ronald Reagan couldn't even do this for us, but Donald Trump did. That's why Alaskans it's Trump country up here. We love Donald Trump. It's disastrous news for us, for our workers, our economy, our environment. No one does it cleaner or greener than Alaskans. There's not a single bureaucrat in D.C. who cares about our environment more than we do, but also for our national security. And Alaskans, we're patriotic up here. We love our military, and we understand that energy independence is key to our national security. But we lay this all at Lisa Murkowski's feet because she's enabling this radical Biden agenda. She was the key vote that let Deb Haaland through to be our Interior Secretary that's locking all of this down. That's why we got to get rid of Lisa Murkowski.
I agree. I think it's time for her to go. Let me ask you this. Will the citizens of Alaska, will they get less money annually now because of these new regulations that Biden has put in place? In other words, you have less opportunity to provide energy, the lifeblood of the world's economy, because of his draconian bureaucratic regulations. I would assume every Alaskan can expect a lot less from the share of monies that you get and you dispense to fellow Alaskans, right?
In every single way, Sean. Not only does it affect our oil dividend and the revenues there, but these oil and gas jobs account for directly 25% of the jobs in the state, and then indirectly 50% of our jobs, and then the vast majority of our state operating budget. So we've gone through $14 billion in state operating budget from a surplus about a decade ago to now over $2 billion in deficit because of our resource industry coming under such attack in this last decade. That's how much it's affecting us. When I grew up here, Alaska was always in the top 10 of the states in the nation. Now we're always in the bottom 3. We're at the top of the list for crime. Only 3 out of 10 of our kids can read. We're really suffering up here, and it's because of decisions like this. They're trying to turn us into a national park playground for the rest of the country. And the fact of the matter is, there are people up here who love this state, who just want access to our lands. You know, the Biden administration is trying to lock up 73% of the state so we cannot live here. And all we want to do is work an honest job, put a roof over our head, maybe send our kid to college, just live an American dream like my parents did. And they were homeless for a while, and now here I am getting to run for U.S. Senate. It's an American dream story. It's all an Alaskan wants.
Are you the only person to step up to challenge Murkowski so far?
Yes, I am. And I'm going to be the only legitimate conservative challenger in this race because right now the Alaskan Trump base is absolutely rallied behind this. We all see
awesome.
that the goal here is to replace Lisa Murkowski. But, Sean, we need America's help because we're struggling financially. So if your listeners want to help us, they can help us at kelly4ak.com because we're going to need a lot of help. She's got the DC insiders supporting her, and we need financial help at kelly4ak.com.
kelly4ak.com is your website. My next question is, and I just, my gut sense, unfortunately, I'm usually right. I've been doing this 33 years. I would suspect that Lisa Murkowski, you know, if she loses, might have sore loserism disease, and that would result in her trying to bifurcate and split the Republican vote if she ran independent. Would she have that option?
So she has the option of running independent this year, and in fact, I think she's going to have to because already the Alaska Republican Party, by a large majority, has officially censured Lisa Murkowski and said she's not allowed to run as a Republican in Alaska. They've already put a lot of daylight between the party and her. They said she doesn't represent Republicans anymore, so they essentially said she has to run independent. Yeah, they've taken a strong stand already.
I don't understand it. I mean, because, I mean, this is a state, and I'll tell you, I'm so stupid, and I admit it, that, you know, I'm stuck here because of contractual obligations in New York. I can't tell you, you know, when I'm having a crappy day, I'm like, why am I not in a ranch in Texas or Wyoming or Montana or Alaska? I just something about the lifestyle that I'm watching on all these shows that makes me think I'm missing the meaning of life. And I love what I do. Don't misunderstand. But I look at this and I'm mesmerized by it all. It just fascinates me.
You could absolutely relocate. I recommend it. Relocate up here. We have a lot of power players. I'm not going to disclose identities because people tend to move up here for anonymity.
Could we get a lot more sun and heat in the winter? You got long winters there.
You know, it's a little bit of a misnomer. So, again, we train the Olympic skiers up here, and we have some of the best winters. But right now, we've got 24 hours of sun, and it is just absolutely life-giving.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's very cool.
It's neat. Yeah,
well, we're looking forward to watching. We're going to follow your race very, very closely. And the people of Alaska deserve better, in my view, than Lisa Murkowski. She's been nothing but a huge disappointment. You clearly represent the rugged individualism and limited government, pro-energy values that the people of Alaska desperately need and deserve. And you're great stewards of our natural resources, our God-given gifts, which I appreciate. And we're going to follow this closely, and we'll be watching. It's going to be a very important race to watch.
Well, thank you, and thank you for your support. And so does Alaska. We want to get our seat back, and we want to rebuild this state and revive our economy, and it's all about our resource industry. So thanks for your support.
2022 and 2024 now mean everything. Kelly, Chewbacca, thank you so much, and we'll have you on again soon. Thank you.
Thanks, Tom.
800.
Bye.